Welcome to the 15th video in the Secrets to Drawing video course brought to you by thevirtualinstructor.com. In this video, we're going to continue our look at drawing media and take a look at charcoal. Charcoal is burnt organic material that produces marks when it's spread over a surface. Charcoal drawings can be produced using combinations of different types of charcoal. So let's take a look at what we're going to look at in this video. In this video, we're going to discuss the different types of charcoal. We're also going to take a look at a quick charcoal drawing demonstration. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, here's a few various types and forms of charcoal. This first type of charcoal is called vine charcoal. V-I-N-E, vine charcoal. Most vine charcoal is rounded. You can see it's easily broken. This allows us to make smaller pieces if we need them. Vine charcoal is easy to spread over the surface. It's very powdery, and when you take your finger and smudge it, you can see that this is the case. It's also easily erased with a kneaded eraser or any type of other eraser. This is also vine charcoal. It's just a little bit thicker. Vine charcoal is usually produced by burning willow wood. It comes in a variety of different hardnesses and softnesses, ranging from soft, medium to hard. You can take the side of the vine charcoal and create some interesting marks as well. Unlike graphite, charcoal is designed basically to use your finger for smudging. If you don't like to get your fingers dirty, you can always use a blending stump or a blending tortillon. Now this is also charcoal. This is a charcoal pencil, and the type of charcoal inside of this pencil is called compressed charcoal. Compressed charcoal is created by taking the powdery charcoal and binding it together using a gum binder. It's a little bit of a darker mark, and it's a little bit harder to erase. This white stick is also compressed charcoal. In this case, just a bit of pigment has been added to the charcoal to create a white stick of charcoal. It's a little bit different than a white pastel. This is also white charcoal inside of a pencil. So let's go ahead and do a quick demonstration. In this case, I'm going to draw an apple, and I'm working on gray drawing paper. This is important because I'm going to be using both white and black charcoal for this demonstration. This will help me ensure that I have a full range of value. It will help me push my tints, the lighter values, and also push my shades, the darker values. I'm beginning my drawing with a stick of vine charcoal. Now remember, vine charcoal is the powdery charcoal. It's also easy to erase and smear over the surface. So I'm staying very loose with my drawing. You'll also notice the way that I'm holding the charcoal. It's different than how you would hold a pencil. In fact, I'm holding it with two fingers and then just moving my entire arm when I'm making marks. I'm not just moving my wrist here. Now I can take my finger and I can smear it together. You'll notice that when I smear or smudge over the surface, the charcoal is becoming lighter. That's because some of the charcoal is leaving the surface of the paper and going to my finger. I can also take a chamois and use the chamois to move the charcoal around. Just like with my finger, some of the charcoal is removed from the surface, making the area lighter. Now I'll go ahead and add a little bit of the cast shadow that happens behind the apple here. Over the course of this demonstration, I'll be adding layers and layers of the charcoal to the surface. Each time my drawing will become more detailed and more controlled. I'll smudge the edge of the shadow that's cast behind the apple to make it look a little bit more realistic. At this stage in the drawing, I'm not real concerned with all the details. Instead, I'm just looking at the light areas and the dark areas on the apple. Our light source in this case is coming from the upper left-hand corner. That means most of our shadows are going to be on the left-hand side of the apple and behind the apple. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a blending tool and I'm going to smudge some of the areas with it. I'm not going to use my finger here because I want to have more control. Now I'm going to take my compressed charcoal, remember it's the darker charcoal, and begin to add some of the details. Mostly what I'm doing here is making the shadows just a bit darker on the apple. You can only get so dark with the vine charcoal. The compressed charcoal allows us to get a little bit darker. Slowly I'll begin to add some of the details that I actually see on the apple. Now, you might be wondering, how do you sharpen this thing? Well, it's real easy. You just pull down the string and start to peel away the paper. And then more of the compressed charcoal that's inside of the pencil is exposed. If you wanted a really sharp point at the end of the pencil, you could always rub the end of the pencil over a piece of sandpaper to make it sharp. Now I'll also take my blending tool and go over the surface of the compressed charcoal. Remember, the compressed charcoal will not blend or smudge as much as the powdered charcoal or the vine charcoal. Now it's time for another layer of the vine charcoal. Again, I'm just looking at the dark areas, slowly starting to begin to pay attention to some of the details that exist. Now that another layer of vine charcoal has been applied and smudged into the surface, I can begin to add more compressed charcoal layers. This time I'm starting to pay attention to the details that exist on the apple. The form of the apple is starting to take shape at this stage in the drawing. Again, more compressed, and then more vine charcoal. With each layer that I add, the apple becomes more realistic and more three-dimensional. Now it's time to add some white charcoal. To this point, I just have midtones and shades. Now I'm able to start adding the tints and lighter values that exist on the apple. I'll begin with the stem, and I'll start adding lighter values on the side of the light source. I'll continue to accent the lighter values that exist all around the apple to create the illusion of the light source and to create that full range of value that I'm after. Once I've got some of the lighter areas established, I'll go back with the compressed charcoal to continue to balance out the values. You can see on the left side of the apple, the texture of the apple is starting to take shape. From here on out, it'll be a process of adding light tints and darker values until I achieve the effect that I'm after for the apple. I'll slowly add details upon details, smudge in areas where appropriate, and continue to push and pull the shadows and the tints. Now I'm ready to create the contrasting background. So I'm going to take the white compressed charcoal and go around the outside edge of the apple and finish up the drawing. You can really see the contrast now between the black and the white charcoal and the gray background. So what did we learn in this video? Well, first we learned that charcoal is burnt organic material. We also learned that charcoal comes in a variety of different forms, including vine charcoal and compressed charcoal. It also comes in different colors and in pencil form. We also learned that charcoal can be applied to a surface using a variety of different methods in order to produce different lines and values in a drawing. In the next video, we'll continue with drawing media and take a look at pen and ink drawing.